Good morning, my lights. How y'all doing today? So the video we're going to be reacting to is the criminal justice system is broken. Should the police be abolished? And it's the leader of a Black Lives Matter movement. Oh boy, let's see what she has to say. Roll the intro, guys.
It's not just one bad apple. The whole damn tree is rotten.
So what you're essentially saying is that not only a few policemen act out of police code, but a whole police department acts out of the police code? No. Only a few act out of police code and don't do their jobs the way they're supposed to be doing it. Not the whole police department. So what you're saying is essentially wrong. Only a few bad apples are in that police department. Only a few act erratically. Don't blame the whole department for a few bad people, okay? I will admit some do act erratically and are bad. But don't blame the whole department for that, okay? With a title like that, I have a feeling we're going to go nowhere in this video. And it's going to be just a bunch of fear mongering to get the people on your side and to guilt trip people into hating the police. Man, you're just like the media, like guilt tripping people into hating the police when you don't even tell the whole story whatsoever. Oh boy.
I think when people hear that we're anti-police, they think it's going to be chaos.
Now, given Black Lives Matter's track record of destroying cities whenever a police shooting happens, I'm not surprised that they think that whatsoever. So I would be a little apprehensive myself.
The new abolitionist movement it's about transformative justice.
The goal of the abolitionist movement was the immediate emancipation of all slaves and the end of racial discrimination and segregation. So you're nothing like the abolitionist movement so far. You seek to divide the races more than unite the races. You pick black people against white people, so you're nothing like the emancipation movement so far. Advocating for the immediate emancipation of distinguished abolitionists, for more moderate anti-slave advocates who argue for gradual emancipation and free from soil advocates who fought restrictively to slavery existing areas and prevent spread further west, radical abolitionism, which was partly fueled by religious fervor of the Second Great Awakening, which would prompt many people to advocate for the emancipation on religious grounds. Abolitionist ideas became increasingly prompt in northern churches and politics, began in the 1830s, which contributed to the original animosity between the North and South leading up to the Civil War. So that is an insult for you to call yourself a new abolitionist movement that seeks to provide justice when you're nothing like the abolitionist movement. Just within the first statement, it proves you wrong that you're nothing like the original abolitionist movement. So how dare you call yourself that?
Non-prison, non-police-based strategies for dealing with violence and crisis in our communities.
So your plan is to deal with criminals non-violently. Let me know how that goes. You're living in a fantasy land if you think that's gonna even work in our current society today. You are living in a fantasy land, my friend. Okay, so let's say a person murders somebody and the family comes and say, what are you going to do with him after you convict him? Oh, we're not going to convict him. We're just going to end up talking to him and dealing with him non-violently. The family's going to look at you back with disdain like, what are you doing? What kind of system is this? I prefer the old system where we convict him, put him in jail, and have him rot in prison for life. So that new system you're talking about is not going to even work, and you're living in a fantasy and you think it's going to be working. You watch too much cartoons in your day to think that will ever work. You're delusional.
Who hasn't had a bad day?
Who hasn't had a bad day? Really, that's your excuse for somebody committing a crime. Who hasn't had a bad day? Man, that argument is pathetic and laughable. Man, you are delusional in the head.
Who hasn't felt anxious or depressed? The question is, should anybody deserve to die because of it?
Man, you went from A to Z very fast. What does that have to do with anything? Nobody deserves to die. And we know that because we have sympathy within society. What are you talking about? Stick to the topic at hand, please. Please stick to the topic at hand.
Police's sole responsibility is to manufacture criminals.
No, it's not the police that creates criminals. It's criminals that create criminals. When people decide to break the law, they're automatically criminals. Therefore, they create criminals. And they get arrested by the police. So the police don't create criminals. It's people who create criminals who decide to break the law. Come on, now that should be really simple for you to figure out. But within your narrative and you to spread it, you're not going to have any logic or sense in your arguments whatsoever. You're just going to make up any random thing you can find to prove your argument or try to prove your argument.
So here you have for-profit prisons. When you create space, you create a demand. That means that bodies have to fill those prisons.
And how are you going to connect this to that we need to get rid of the police? How's this going to connect at all? Yes, I know private prisons or for-profit prisons do that. Yeah, they have to fill up the prisons with space. That doesn't mean they automatically manufacture criminals, as you said in the previous thing, just to fill out space within the prison at all. It really doesn't.
And we have seen that it's largely transgender people, it's black people, it is native people, it's Latinx people.
Okay, so you're saying it's trans people? Trans people in prison. Tell me the last time you've seen a trans person in prison. Name one. I'll wait. Still waiting. Oh, that's right. You haven't seen one in prison. The reason blacks or black people are in prison is that they commit more other crimes in society. Sorry, it's true. Like it or not, it is true. Native people, I'm a little skeptical about that one. Seriously, I'm a little skeptical about that. You have to provide evidence for me to believe that. And it's Latino people or Latina people, not Latinx people. Latinx, get out of here with the Latinx thing. So, one of these, you rarely even see. The other one, I'm skeptical. The other one commits more crimes in society. Sorry, that's true. Facts, within the criminal justice system, facts. And 4, it's mispronounced. It's Latino and Latina, not Latinx. Latinx, man, stop with this newspeak. Stop with this newspeak, dude. It's getting annoying.
When you have that demand, then you also have to create incentives. That trickles down to police, who also now have the incentive of creating criminals. It's not about justice anymore. It's about profit.
So what you're saying is that the police are leaving little incentives for people to break the law and for them to become criminals. You actors of the police are leaving doors wide open for them people to go rob. Leave a gun right there for you to go rob, and then to go take some cash out of the cash register. Like, what? They're like, oh man, I'm gonna leave all this stuff outside just so I can create a criminal so I can get paid when I put them in prison. Woo woo, payday. Like, what? No, you think that's how this works? You are truly living in a fantasy land, because that's not how this works. Maybe if you're in a movie, maybe, but this is the real world, my dear, not a fantasy land. You are living in a fantasy land. Come on now, the level of delusional thought is on the charts 100%, all the way up here. My lord.
I think we start with the demilitarization of the police. Police don't need assault weapons to protect people.
Oh, the police shouldn't have assault weapons or weapons of any kind. Oh, really? Okay, let's say there was an incident at a concert where there was a robber and he had a gun. And someone was being robbed at that concert, and they're asking the police that are guarding that concert, help me. Help me get this guy. He's about to kill me. He has a gun to my head. Can you help me? And the police are like, no. And the person asks, why can't you help me? They banned my assault weapons. Sorry. I can't do anything. Like, what? That person would be killed. So is that what you want on your hands? For the police not to have weapons to save lives? And for you rather people die than for police not to have weapons on their hands that could potentially save hundreds of lives. Oh my God. Wow. The level of backwards thinking is unbelievable.
The second thing that we can do is really look at police budgets and create models and economies for that divestment from the institution of policing and the reinvestment in community models.
So what you're saying is that we should take money out of the police budget, like a big chunk, and reinvest it in community. But how is that police going to protect that community with no budget whatsoever if we reinvest it in the community? See, that makes no sense. It really makes no sense whatsoever.
That means taking money out of police budgets and slowly phasing out police because we don't actually need them in our communities. They don't keep people safe.
So you want to phase out police because they think you don't keep you safe. Okay, next time you have like a problem, like a robbery or something, don't call the police. Call your local BLM militia. I'm pretty sure they will help you. Oh, if you're white, forget that. They won't even talk to you at all. You see what I'm talking about here? Why would we do that? Why? Why would we put the power of like the law in someone as crazy as Black Lives Matter? Why would we do that? That would be the craziest thing in the world. But you have no logic, no reason. But you're too in your own narrative up here to even see. But putting the hands of the law into BLM, Black Lives Matter's hands is crazy. Given their past track record, it would be very crazy to put them in charge of the law. Let's keep the law things away from the crazy people that burn down towns that disagree with them. And like their disagreements over shootings. If they can't handle police shootings, imagine they couldn't handle like if something didn't go their way when they put down the law and it didn't get passed or something. Man, they would burn that town down whatsoever. It would not last. So let's keep the law books away from the crazy people who burn down towns. I would rather do that and have it in the hands of the police that actually know what they're doing and actually keep people safe.
You know, when you're looking at it from the lens of race in this country, it's absolutely easier to manufacture criminals around that.
Oh, really? Tell me how they manufacture criminals around race. Tell me that. Tell me that, my dear. Give me solid evidence and proof that they manufacture criminals around race. Give me one statement that says, hey, we manufacture criminals around race. Give me evidence that says that. If you don't give me any evidence, any proof, anything, nothing, I'm not going to believe you that it does that. Do some people act erratically? Yes. Do some people jump the gun? Yes. But it is true, whether you like to hear it or not, I'm going to tell you, black people commit more crimes within society than white people do. And Latino or Latina people do, or Hispanic people do. Black people commit more crimes. I'm sorry, that's the truth. I'm not being racist. I'm not being judgmental. I'm just telling you the truth, whether you like to hear it or not. That happens. So he said, oh, it's manufactured around race and police manufacture criminals. You acting like they're going in a factory within a machine. Remember Plankton with his robots, like in a Battle for Bikini Bottom? They just manufacturing the robots out of the machine, and then like he left the evil switch on and they automatically turned evil. Like, you act as if that is the case. No, my dear, no.
When people's skin becomes weaponized, particularly black skin, a book becomes a gun, a cell phone becomes a gun, a bag of Skittles becomes a gun.
You're putting one situation where that doesn't even go. The Trayvon Martin case about like where he went to go get like iced tea and Skittles, and then like he was followed by a man that they told don't follow him. So that situation has nothing to do with whatsoever. And for you even to put that situation there is insulting. Really insulting for you to put that situation there to push your narrative. No, just no, my dear, no.
We don't have some personal war with individual police officers.
Oh, but you have no war cops. Yeah, right. Tell me that again.
What we do have is deep concern and a fight against the institution of policing. Undocumented communities know that they can't call the police.
So you have a problem with the institution of policing to begin with. So you have a problem with the police. And you said undocumented people can't call the police. Why don't they just get documented? Like, I know it's not simple and all that, but just get documented so you can call the police whenever you need help and all that. It's pretty simple and pretty straightforward, to be honest.
In the event that crisis happens, a lot of black communities know that too. And so entire mosques, churches, communities, they have agreements where they won't call the police should something happen.
That's because in those communities, they have their own law enforcement to deal with it within their own community and within their own religion. They have somebody else to deal if an individual acts up or tries to go hurting people. They already have to do that, so they have no need to call the police whatsoever. They have no need because they already have enforcement to begin with.
And in its place, we've seen such a wonderful and diverse response when it comes to intervention in our communities. We've seen people rise up with trainings around mental health crisis, intimate partner violence crisis. We've seen rapid response justice teams, and I think that's really what we need to be building.
So, rapid response justice teams, you mean police? That's the same exact thing as the police. So what you're suggesting is you build a police force. Why are you going to replace one police force with another police force if you don't like the police to begin with? That makes no sense. It makes your whole video pointless then, huh? It really makes it pointless.
Evolution isn't just the ending of something, it's the beginning of something new.
Okay, whatever you say, Miss Crazy Pants. You make no sense whatsoever. So, my electrolytes, what have we learned today? We have learned that this person, and this whole video was pretty pointless. So he was arguing that we should phase out the police, which I don't think we should do that. It keeps like communities safe and individual people safe if they need help, especially like with domestic violence issues and all that. But in the end, all she suggested was a rapid justice response team, which it's just the police like they have now. So she contradicted herself, and this whole video was pretty pointless, my electrolytes. Pretty pointless. So that's gonna be it for me, my electrolytes. My Twitter handle is gonna be right here. You can follow me on there. I am most active on there. Also, you can send me fan art at electricload on Twitter, and I will use it in my next video. Whoever sends me the best one. So that's gonna be it for me, my electrolytes. Have a great day and stay awesome.